Dan?
Yes.
It's the pre-season for the players, which means it's officially the off-season for rugby league. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our good friends at Top Sport. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And Dan, this one door closes, another one opens. 2023 season is officially shut, slam shut. We're waiting for the 2024 door to open. All the players, like a lot of clubs, go back to training next week, so we'll get that pre-season enthusiasm, training the house down.
That's it. You've never seen them train harder.
Yeah.
All the cliches. Look, for the players that have just finished their season, their commitments, they won't be back for a couple of weeks, obviously.
Yep.
So I dare
And
say...
thank you for your commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. It went way longer than it needed to. But look, we probably won't see a lot of the noticeable players for
till
next year,
December.
which is good because we get to see some young kids that are trying to prove themselves, which is always good fun. But yeah, look, I am not a fan of this off-season business.
Look, I know he's the third favourite for the Golden Boot at the moment in Ronaldo Mulatalo, but give me some Sam Stone Street content.
If we could, please.
Because, yeah,
we know you're watching, Charles.
We've seen a lot of Ronaldo.
Yeah, we have.
We've seen a lot, and we're going to see more of Ronaldo in 2024, but...
Let's get some propaganda, some Stone Street propaganda.
Now...
We've tried to avoid it.
Let's talk about the test matches. Before we talk about the Kangaroos, let's talk about England and Tonga.
Your
first.
boys.
Let's go England and Tonga first. England swept the series 3-0. Really close games.
They were.
Really, really close games all along. Elliot Whitehead goes out with a try in his final test match.
That was cool. I like that. I'm a big fan of Whitehead.
It's just what you and I said, that if Tonga had an elite spine, they would have gone over there and absolutely destroyed England.
Yeah, I think so. I think the gap is closed.
The difference was Wellesby and the spine for England were able to control the game, get in front, and not panic.
Yes, that's the big one. The games were close, and close games are won by who? Your spine players. Yeah. So, look, we said it here a couple of weeks ago. If you could drop a Nico Hines and a Mitch Moses into that Tonga team, they are legitimately a top 4 in the world. So, I was excited. I thought Samoa they fell back, obviously, without changing tact. I don't feel like their heart was really in it. Whereas Tonga went away and had that camaraderie of we're over here for a month. Let's dig in. Let's do the best we can. Whereas Samoa, and look, I'm not bagging their efforts or anything.
The minute Jerome Luai ruled out.
Yeah, I just feel like they were like, let's just get through this. We're not going to play in the finals. And good luck to them. I mean, to go and play Australia and New Zealand anytime is tough. But yeah, look, I enjoyed the England series, what I saw of it. I saw a game and a half live, and then it got too late with the times changing. I think they need to do this every year. I think a different team needs to tour England, or England need to come down here. I think International Rugby League is got to be, with the World Cup in 2026, it's got to be on the agenda moving forward.
Just the last thing on this series, where Will Hopewadi has retired from rugby league, played his last game.
Bit of a shock, but...
Bit of a shock, yeah. Premiership winner with Manly in 2011, achieved everything that you can.
Origin,
in rugby league. Yeah, Origin, played for Australia, played for Tonga. Went over and won premierships in England as well. Was fantastic over in the UK. So congratulations on a great career. Will Hopewadi, that was disrupted for 2 years, and he came back and didn't miss a beat. So brilliant player.
Great stuff.
Yeah. Fiji and Papua New Guinea. Now,
incredible scenes.
Yeah. Now last week we were sitting here saying, "Wow, like how did Fiji win this game?" And Papua New Guinea looked shot, and then flipped the script.
A week later, mate, makes a world of difference. That crowd. I mean, again, we're both on record as saying we don't really support a New Guinea side coming in. Looking at that crowd, you're kind of like, I wouldn't mind it.
I support Test football in Papua New Guinea.
That's true.
That's what I support. And if you said to me every year Australia and New Zealand are going to play 3 games in Papua New Guinea, build the stadium.
I actually liked the fact that they didn't, because there's such a big gap. And beating New Guinea 70...
I'm talking just Australia and New Zealand. Don't.
Oh, no, in New Guinea. 100%. Yeah, give them a game. 3 tests, 1 each, third over there. Yeah. Sold. I want to see New Guinea play Fiji and the Cook Islands. I want to see them play Samoa. I want to see them play Tonga. Even England.
Even France. No, like France.
Yeah. France, Wales, Ireland, bring them all down. International League is so good. And it's out of sight, out of mind.
That's
in 3 weeks,
to get Jamaica over there.
Get in there.
Yeah.
Mate, we might fly to New Guinea. We got to get a GoFundMe. The Vegas one didn't work. But overall, I thought all of them were great. except one thing, which I'm unfortunately going to have to speak about.
You are going to have to speak about it because as my nation won 3-0, yours didn't.
No, look, technically 2-1. So they won moral victory, which English would know
Very
plenty
good
of
at it,
pound. Yeah, look, they were disgusting. That's the worst I've seen in a Kangaroo side play for probably ever.
Let me just say this. I didn't even know the game had kicked off. Because it kicked off 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
It did,
apparently.
yep. 6 o'clock New Zealand time.
Yeah, so I was sat there on the couch at home and my stepdad sent a message through saying, can you believe how bad Australia are playing? And I was like, in what?
Yeah.
And then we turned it on. It was only 6-0 when I turned it on. And then New Zealand just turned it on. They were incredible.
You were not the only one. There were a lot of people that didn't even realise it was on, including obviously big rugby league fans such as yourself.
But Australia didn't even know the game was on.
No, they're still waiting.
Yeah.
New Zealand were very, very good. I want to get that out in the open. I thought Dylan Brown was tremendous. I thought
Jerome Hughes was outstanding.
Hughes was so good.
After you made an off-the-cuff comment the other week, I don't really think Jerome Hughes is that good anymore.
Yeah, I deserve that because he's fantastic. Ronaldo Mulatalo was outstanding and took Val Holmes apart, which is always nice. Charles Nickel-Clockstar, though, that guy is a freak.
He's a star.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
Obviously,
letting you know about the Jerome Hughes. A couple of years ago, I turned around and said that I don't think Matt Timoko would be a NRL standard player. In fact, I thought he'd be a League One Super League player. I take it back.
Happy to eat that one.
He's phenomenal.
He's so good.
He is so good. Like, I am spewing that he re-signed with Canberra because he would be perfect on the left edge of Cronulla. He's so quick off the mark. Defensively, he's not a big person.
No, but he plays big.
But yeah, he's got a huge motor. And that try that he scored, just the speed off the mark, and then with the, bring it around under the post, great player.
They were good.
Britain,
1-17, Nicaragua. 1-17, they were so much better than Australia. And I will bag Australia in a minute, but I really want to lean into how good New Zealand were. Mm-hmm. At home, after getting spanked last week by a below par Australian side, that wasn't their best side by a long way. And to go home, I think last week they got caught up in the emotion. You saw the pre-match, you saw the haka. They held the stare, then they moved up. Then they kicked the ball out on the full. Australia went up and scored, and it was game over. Yeah. This time, it was still intense. They played, they got through the first set, they got into the game, they scored, and they were never headed. I think there's a lot in that. I think, yeah.
Yeah, look, obviously it wasn't the 1-17 Australian side. Like, if you had to pick your best Australian side, a lot of those players wouldn't be there.
Absolutely.
But I'm not taking anything away from New Zealand because I think that New Zealand team against that Australian team, with the way that they played, if they were still playing now, Australia still wouldn't have scored.
Yeah, no, they were awful.
They were really, really bad. And it was a shock because they got beaten up in the forwards. A week ago, they didn't have Payne Haas or Tino. This week, those two guys come back and just got trounced.
They did.
So, yeah, congratulations to New Zealand. Now, one thing that I want to speak to you about before you go on your Mal Meninga rant here, the Golden Boot Award.
Yep.
England win 3-0, New Zealand and Australia 2-1. Who gets the Golden Boot? Have you seen who the favourites are?
No, I haven't. Full disclosure, I don't really rate this award. I think it's a bit of a joke.
I think it's a joke as well because Tommy Mackinson has won it.
Yeah, and he's a winger for England. I think the best player in the NRL should be the Golden Boot winner. I know that's probably a little bit controversial with some fans on the other side of the pond, but, let's be serious here.
The favourite to win it at the moment is Charles Nickel-Clockstar.
Well, based on the criteria...
Yeah, based on one game. Because the Golden Boot's about test matches.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
He's the favourite.
Do the World Cup games come into it, or were they more than a calendar year? Okay, fair enough.
Jack Wellesby is number 2.
That makes sense, yeah.
Ronaldo is number 3.
Okay, I mean, sure.
That's just going off odds, betting odds at the moment.
I can't fault those. They were 3 fantastic players. I mean, if you want to look at Australia, Payne Haas was real good in that first game. Obviously wasn't much good in the final. Now, Harry Grant was man of the match last week.
Was dreadful.
Terrible, disgusting. But, yeah, look, any of those 3, like Ronaldo hopefully, but I think Wellesby will win it because they won 3-0 and I think that's got to count for something. But in terms of the Golden Boot Award, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care about it. Now, what you do care about, talk to me.
Mal Meninga. I think it's time to go. I think he needs to take the Brad Fittler route and out of here. I base this on, and now people have come at me, and I've made a statement online and said, oh, but he won a World Cup. Yeah, as he should. Mm-hmm. As an Australian coach, you need to win. As soon as you lose, you're gone because you're expected to win. That may sound unfair. I don't care. That Australian side that played this week was pretty shit. You had a winger who was caught out of position 4 or 5 times because he's a fullback in Dylan Edwards. If only you could have seen that coming. Tony Staggs plays one good game in every 3.5. Had a pretty good final series, but, wasn't real big in the grand final where it counts. In the halves, you had a very disinterested and unwell Cam Munster. He and Brad Fittler must have got together in the preseason and said, how can we mess Nicho Hynes up? Our wives think he's cute, let's get him. Because the way they've crucified this poor kid, throwing him into unfamiliar positions with no game plan and saying, we're losing by 26, go and win the game. And if you miss a tackle, you're going to get all the grief on social media and in the media. I don't know what their plan is there. Ruben Cotter and Liam Martin. Now, I'm going to cop grief for this, and I do not care. Lazy forwards. Ruben Cotter is a middle and a middle only. Your middles in Tino and Payne Haas got absolutely shellacked through the middle. You need your boys on the outside to dig in. Liam Martin was on like 34 metres at half time and Ruben Cotter was on 33. Are you kidding me? You cannot pick both. Now, I know Cam Murray went out, but I don't care. You should never be in a position where you have an out-of-form Ruben Cotter, because he hasn't played for how many weeks, and a bloke who, I don't care how good people say he is, he's lazy. He won't go looking for the big hit-ups. He's a front runner. When Penrith are playing well, he always scores the last try and pads his stats. And you get all of them online, go, look at his stats. Look at his stats in the game where we needed him. Hopeless.
I am on record as saying I'm not a big Liam Martin fan. And I think he is a circumstantial player. That the circumstances up Penrith are really good. Mm-hmm. And he looks okay because he runs a short ball over a small half. I love Viliame Kikau. Mm-hmm. So,
who they replaced with Scott Sorensen and lost nothing.
I agree with you that you couldn't have picked both of them. Now, I think the squad that Mal Meninga picked was really light in terms of backs and it was really light in terms of back row. Mm-hmm. And the minute Cam Murray went down, you kind of went, it's just going to be a makeshift person. Whoever they put there, however they do it, this person is just going to be makeshift.
Yeah.
I don't blame Ruben Cotter one bit for that.
No, it's not his fault.
The game plan was not to go to the edges from Australia. The game plan was to go up the middle, and it was an awful game plan. So probably they should have gone to the edges and given Liam Martin and Ruben Cotter a bit more ball.
You could have used Cotter up the middle, that's all I'm saying.
Could have used him up the middle as well. Look, it was. Someone asked me who I thought the best player for Australia was. No one.
Well, people were saying Isaiah Yao was the best player.
No, he made 41 tackles and didn't miss one.
Yeah, look, he tackled well. But this is a bloke who plays perfectly for Penrith, but doesn't make the impact. Pat Carrigan had to start.
Yeah.
Simple as. He didn't get much game time. I have a problem with the bench. You look and you've got...
See, Pat Carrigan would have been a better option on the edge than...
Of course he would have. You've got Nicho Hynes, who they had no plan for, and you've got Harry Grant on the bench. You cannot go into a game at NRL level with 2 utilities, let alone a Pacific Cup final, which is supposed to be this huge aura, grabbing thing. They went over there with a terrible attitude. They didn't want to dig in. James Tedesco's busted. Mm-hmm. I want to throw that in too. Now, I know a lot of players I got a little bit of a twinge in their clubs that probably said, well, you can't go. I know Fafita, because I said, why isn't Fafita? He should be in the first back row pick. People are like, he's injured, he ruled himself out.
Well, he last played for Tonga as well and hasn't changed his allegiance.
There's probably 5 or 6 that you really could have talked into. I don't feel like they cared. That's just the feeling I get. Now, I know they did, and I'll tell you otherwise, that I think this is an opportunity for sweeping changes because it's a new World Cup year. Congrats. That's your thank you so much, Tedesco and co. Time to move on.
On this note then, Dan, who is your next Australian coach?
If I had to pick one tomorrow, I'm going to Justin Holbrook and saying, oi, in you go.
I think that's a terrible idea.
That's completely fair. Well, who are you going then, Terry?
Well, he's got one more year of coaching in the NRL left in him. When's the next World Cup? 2026. I'm giving the reins to Craig Bellamy.
Funny you say that, because by the time zero tackle, I've written why Craig Bellamy should be the coach in 2026. He's got one more year and he deserves a swan song. He's a bloke who will pick a squad with a plan and win a home World Cup, and that can be his final game, coach. The final where we beat New Zealand and avenge this loss. Great shout. Right now, though, I don't think you take it.
Oh, yeah, I don't think
because I'm sacking Mao tomorrow.
I don't think you take it now. I think Mal Meninga's got a year left in him, and then they'll just do the big transition. The worst thing that can happen to Australia is you turn around and you go to one bloke and go, "Boy, do you want to avenge 2008?" and you hand the reins to Ricky Stewart.
Yeah, no.
No.
Cannot be Ricky Stewart.
Cannot be Ricky
I've
Stewart.
seen people come out and say that Mad should get it and just coach against himself, against Queen,
That would be
against the
half
Kiwis.
decent.
I rate that.
Hey, look, in saying this, Madge had a 3-game series and won.
He did.
So not a bad thing for New South Wales.
Look, it is good signs for New South Wales. And he lost, which New South Wales will probably do,
Yeah.
and came back and won. So I'm happy.
The smoky for mine is obviously Billy Slater, but I don't think that you want to go back-to-back Queensland coaches who've had this incredible origin success, because for whatever reason it is, bad players will get up for Queensland
Good point.
and then get picked for Australia and get found out.
They will.
So,
Just piggybacking off that, my original suggestion was Cam Smith.
yeah,
Now,
love
this
it.
guy has a pretty good football mind and knows what he's doing. He's been involved with Queensland for a couple of years, but hasn't taken the reins. Now, I know a lot of people are going to scream, but he's never coached in the first grade. It's Cam Smith. You don't need to coach players. You need to pick them, you need to motivate them, you need to set the plan, and you need to adjust. Cam Smith. Bellamy is my choice, for the record, but if you tomorrow said, here's a coach for the next 10 years, Cam Smith all day.
Yeah, I love that shout. I love Cam Smith's shout. The greatest to do it. I'm big on that. I think that would be really. And as you said, in that situation for Australia, you don't need to coach them, because he will have his assistants like a Craig Fitzgibbon, like a Billy Slater, like all these people come in and do the defensive and the attacking and the nutrition and the training and recovery, and he's just there to lay out a game plan that he knows how to win.
Yeah, he does.
Because he's done it more than anyone.
He has.
Great shout. Excellent. I think it's Bellamy, though. Yeah.
Talk to me, Terry.
I think it's you that's going to talk to me here.
Look, it is. We've been, a little bit negative on the Australian side. So what I'm going to do is...
I've been very positive about the Australian team.
Yeah.
I'm glad they lost.
Yeah, look, positive that they sucked. Look, that's completely fair. What I've done, though, is I've gone out of my way and put a lot more thought into this than I probably should have. And I've picked the side that I would expect to line up as a full-strength side in 2026. So not only am I complaining, but I'm fixing something.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to run my 1 to 17 by you, Terry, and I want your opinion on these. Keeping in mind, this is 3 years from now.
3 years from now.
Australia are going to host the World Cup, most likely. New Zealand may host a game or two. This is a side I would pick.
Okay.
At fullback, it is time to move on from James Tedesco, and it is
Yesterday.
time to move to Reece Walsh.
I think by 2026, Reece Walsh will be the premier fullback in the competition. If you're talking about a 2024 try series, I think they'd go with Dylan Edwards, but I think 2026 is absolutely Reece Walsh.
That's exactly what I said. I think he'll be the premier fullback. He may even be the premier player. Now, on the wing, I'm going to rule Brian To'o out because he played for Samoa last time, so I'm going to assume he stays there again. So my first winger will be Selwyn Cobbo, who I thought should have played the final over Dylan Edwards, based on the fact that he's a winger and he's a match winner.
Absolutely, Selwyn Cobbo. And he, again, you'd be talking about him as one of the 5 best wingers in the competition.
Absolutely love it. Now, I'm going to go in the centres. A player that I hope was injured, because if he wasn't and he wasn't picked, I'm angry, and that is Bradman Best. I think he will be a rep player for the next 10 years.
Good
and
player.
he will be absolutely undroppable. Now, a little bit of controversy here. I've gone a player who has been... He's played for Samoa in the past, but I think he'll be picked for Origin next year, and I think he'll want to win a World Cup. And that's Isaac Tango. I think this guy is just about to become one of the top centres. He's been so good in broken stints with the Panthers, and he came in and he was the difference. He doesn't play that and win the grand final. I'm willing to die on that hill.
Okay.
I had Campbell Graham as the next one off, but I just think Targo's going to go up here. Which brings me to the wing. See you later, Val. It's hammer time. I think this kid is a freak. He's a bloke that in 3 years' time is going to be any team in the
So
world.
that's why I think he's going to be in the centres.
Good, completely fair. I couldn't go past Tango. I had Hammer in the centres and Val in the wing, but I'm
Val'll be
so
like
off Val.
33 by then.
Exactly right. So I think you got to get the Hammer in there. Now, number 6. So this is going to cause some controversy, and I don't care. I think Ezra Mann's going to be the best 6 in the game in 3 years' time.
Absolutely. And we're saying this about all the Brisbane players.
Yeah, look, it sucks, but his trajectory is so ridiculous. He's in the second year of his career.
Yeah.
Number 7, pretty obvious, Nathan Cleary. It'll be his side. I think he'll be the Australian halfback. Well, should have been this time round.
And I think he'll be the Australian captain as well.
Completely fair. Up front, I have Payne Haas, of course.
I saw someone disagree with you about Payne Haas.
Well, that guy's an idiot.
Absolutely.
And the other prop, Tino. They don't go anywhere for the next 10 years. At hooker, despite having a bad game, I think Harry Grant. And I put here that he needs to become an 80-minute hooker. If he cannot play 80 minutes, you go elsewhere. And I think he will be picked. Now, in the second row, I've got David Fafita. He will be in the prime. I think he'll be 26 to 27 by the time it rolls around. That's scary.
That is scary. You just got to hope that he doesn't go play for Tonga again.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be stupid. Pick David Fafita.
Win a World Cup at home. Second one, also one who will be eligible for Tonga. That's Hamoli Alakoatu. I went back between him and Kolomatangi. I just think his upside is just that little bit more. Right now, I would say to him, oi, I hope you enjoyed your Tongan career. Get an Australian jersey.
I think it's going to be Kolomatangi. No, they're all right edge. Oh, no, David Fafita's left edge, second row, yeah. Then if that's the case, then Hamoli and Kolomatangi on the bench.
Yep, I just think that's brilliant. And I think the lock is Pat Carrigan.
Yeah, look, I think it would be Cam Murray.
We'll get to him later, but
I think it'll be Cam Murray, but they're just gonna try and get that big dope in the team somewhere in Isaiah to get him out of it.
I'm done. He can play for New South Wales, but for Australia, I think his time's done.
Yep.
On the interchange bench, at number 14 is Kalen Ponga, because you just have to pick Kalen Ponga.
You just have to.
You just have to pick Kalen Ponga, and if you want to pick a utility, you pick a bloke that's won. Well, the Dally M.
The Dally M.
At fullback. Okay, he had some miffy games at 5'8", but could go on in there in a heartbeat. And he's played lock and hooker for Queensland and almost won a series on debut. I have no problems with putting him in there no matter what. On the interchange bench, we have Lindsay Collins, who I believe will be an absolute monster come 2026.
Yeah, I thought he had a brilliant series.
He was great. I also have Cameron Murray, who I think you just have to pick. I don't want to see him play on the edge. He's not an edge player for the Rabbitohs. He shouldn't be playing there for New South Wales. He definitely shouldn't be playing there for Australia. And the last spot, because I am a big fan of this guy and he's moving clubs and he's going to be the number 1 prop, not named Payne Haas, Adam Fanua-Blake or Tino. So probably the 4th best prop. That's Thomas Flegler. Good
shout. I would swap Carrigan and Murray just to give you just a bit more off the bench. Because, when Cam Murray starts a game, we've seen how good he was. Scored 7 consecutive tests or something like that. Out of position. And I think you get him to do the dirty work to start off with and then...
Put Carrigan on?
Yeah, you could. Or you could do it the other way. Yeah. Either way, you sport for choice there. I think the Flegler shout is a great shout. But I think if you're going to pick Hamali to start, then you got to pick Kolomatangi. But, again, eligibility, both of them, Tonga...
I would be getting in all these players' ears and say, look, it is a home World Cup. And then after you can, I don't want to be disrespectful, but this is your chance to win a World Cup on home soil. Let's get at it. And I think that side would absolutely belt the current side that we ran out last week.
They will. That side there would beat England by 600 on 300% completions. Yep. I would be surprised if England touched the ball.
Yeah, it'd only be to knock it on.
It would only be to kick it off.
Yeah, exactly right.
They'll have a kick off. They'll kick off, and then they'll receive once. Yeah. They'll kick the ball down to Reece Walsh, and he'll score under the post, and then England will just keep kicking off. It's my nation, right? That side that you have ran out there will spank everyone.
Yeah. So Bellamy.
So you should be the coach.
You need a couple of assistants. Here we are.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, the final for season 2023. we'll be back for some off-season football. Rugby league never sleeps. So
No, it doesn't.
The minute something happens,
We'll be
Dan and I will awake from our slumber. We'll be here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow all our content. Go back and watch all the shows again. Might even do a best of show.
Look, potentially.
Mash everything together, but it's all good.
It'll
be about 7 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's not enough space on YouTube, mate.
And don't forget our good friends at Top Sport as well, who continue to sponsor us. Dan and I rinsed them this year. I'm surprised they're still alive.
Look, we took them, but thank you.
We took them for some
genuinely
absolute cash.
thank you.
Genuinely thank you for the bottom of our heart.
Great to be a part of taking your money.
Yes.
Via being too good at betting.
And as always, Dan, for one last time.
Rugby league, baby.